1996. We going back in the day. It was a beautiful time period. Biggie was still alive. Tupac was still alive. The whole culture of the world seemed like everything was going up. Not only that, but I think big feature films were taking a turn for the best. You know, we're talking about Jurassic Park coming into the forefront. You're talking about big films. And I think this is also around the time period where like surround sound became a thing. You know what I mean? So, like y'all generation, y'all just assume that everybody always had surround sound and they had stuff coming from the left and all this stuff. No, baby. There used to be a time when it was just sound. Like, look, all you got was the left speaking, the right people. Right. It wasn't nothing surrounded about it. You know what I mean? So, like, this is the time when they started introducing surround sound. They started introducing, like, even wider screens, like HD, you know what I mean? Like, these really, really crispy, colorful imagery. And, you know, in this era, Twister becomes one of the first films that takes advantage of surround sound. It takes advantage of that immersive, like really, really, really cinematic, color rich palette, you know, that you get to see while these characters are, you know, running around the Midwest part of the United States. But Twister is pretty much about a team of I forgot what they call them. It's like a team of weather people that are trying to figure. What you say? Which one you call them?
Storm chasers.
I mean, hold on. Let me think. Let me make sure you're right. You are correct. The term in Twister is storm chaser, right? Because in the next film that we reviewing, they got a different name. It's like they're something. So these, these other people are trying to figure out a way that they can put a machine up into a tornado so they can figure out how it comes to being, so they can get a warning system in place. And of course, also, you know, a realistic side, a smaller story, side quest is the beautiful Bill Paxton is why did I call him beautiful? But the Bill Paxton is trying to chase down his estranged wife so that he could procure his divorce papers so he could marry his new bride to be. And ensues in Middle America. I would like to first say that this film was so very impactful that on the passing of Bill Paxton in 2017, it's funny that I recently saw this in a couple of days ago. They actually did a dedication to Bill Paxton.
When he died in 2017, meteorologists, they have this way of kind of showing their location on GPS. They organize themselves across the boundaries of Oklahoma and Kansas into the shape of a giant B and a giant P and stood there with their beacons on so that if you looked at it through radar, you could see their salute to Bill Paxton. That's how important this movie is to like meteorology nerds.
We'll put this up on social media because we have a picture of it.
Oh, yes. Just another day on the set of Twister.
I just wanted to throw that out there just to kind of give you guys an essence of why this film is important. On top of all of the other stuff that I just said. So that was the general rundown. My initial impression of this film, I was a teenager when this came out. I did not get a chance to see it in the theaters. However, my family purchased it on, I think it was VHS. Yeah, we had this on VHS. And as a 15, 16-year-old kid, you know, watching this at home, because this is pre-internet, okay, people. So like, it's not like you can see the whole world and know what's going on everywhere in the world. You know, to get a, you know, kind of like really, really firsthand view of, you know, Middle America and even tornadoes for that matter, in a cinematic form, it scared the crap out of me. This was like, as a young kid, this was borderline horror for me. I was like, oh snap! Like if I go to Oklahoma, I could die. I'm gonna get blown up into the world. You know what I'm saying? Like it was really, really jarring initially. And you know, but before I get into my ups and downs, I'm just saying that was my initial impressions. I was super excited to see it. And ma'am, Miss G, I'm gonna go to you. Just your initial impression before you saw the film, either trailer or poster.
I I actually, like you, saw it after the fact. I did not see the original Twister in theaters. I think it was my last day of like 6th grade, and the teachers were like, "We're not doing anything. Let's pop in this VHS."
Mhm.
So, I would say that it is probably a better watch when you're with a group of people,
Mhm.
to see take in everyone's reactions. But you're right. It's when surround sound was becoming a big thing, there were lots of effects. I believe during that time, didn't they used to make a big deal in the previews or like the opening credits, and it would be like Dolby Digital surround sound,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. That was definitely the thing. And they were just starting to install those into the movie theaters. And that would be like
Right.
a selling point. You know, you could come in here come and watch this film in Dolby surround sound. And then they
And
started selling the surround sound systems and stuff. Yeah.
absolutely. And I will say it was a bit of a different watch for me. Again, being from New York, we don't have tornadoes and all of that. I think there was one EF1 that hit like, and that was in the last couple hundred years.
Mhm.
So it's not an experience we're used to. It it's an exciting watch. It was just, I have OCD, so
Word, word. Shout out to the Appalachian Trail and the Appalachian Mountains that separates us from the middle America and stops tornadoes from
just
happening.
feeling it.
So, shout out to that. Iris, your initial impressions.
So I'm like the rest of y'all. I didn't get to see it in the theater. I actually saw it on TV for the first
Hello.
time. I didn't have, VHS. It was whatever was on basic cable during that time.
Mhm.
Um, and they actually played Twister, so got to watch it. I've always liked Bill Paxton movies. So I was actually pretty excited to see it, just to see what it was about. And having something so drastic like that when it came to like a weather movie, you didn't see a lot of that. Like you saw action movies with like explosions and things like that, but things like monstrously weather related wasn't really like a big thing you saw. Um so yeah, it was different. So I was pretty excited to see it when it did came out, especially because during that time, just seeing the graphics and things like that of how they made the tornado look so realistic was like wow back then. so
Mhm.
so and even now, like when I rewatched it, it's still like, you know what, they didn't do that back in '96. Okay, I
Mhm.
see y'all. I see y'all.
And you know
So
what? It is cool for nerds, right? Because we didn't have a lot of science related movies that weren't complete sci-fi. You know what I mean?
Very
Most
true. Very true.
most were like, "Oh, this could never happen." Twister, you can definitely be in
yeah,
tornado country anytime you travel to that part of the country. So
so it was a very big deal because it's not something you'd see regularly. A movie about. You had things like Aliens and Predator, and like you mentioned, Jay. Jurassic Park. That's what we got. Shit that wouldn't happen in real life, or
Mhm.
we
Well,
don't know
not
about
yet.
the aliens these days, but during that time,
Yeah.
we was like, okay, this is all BS. So
Did-
so yeah, I'd have to say I was very excited to see this.
All right. So, Miss G, I would need you to now give us your highs and your lows of the film.
okay. So the highs, I definitely would say um that it immersed you in meteorology. There was actually, tons of actual scientific technologies, things checked out if you know meteorology at all, or even if you just caught the Weather Channel a couple of times. Definitely the graphics for that time and the effects, the action was good. The lows. The lows were that I expect there to be great acting and everything, and that's not where the priorities lied here. It was definitely more in the action for me. And my only other low actually was, like I've said before in our conversations, the continuity errors. Like, I don't understand how you can be in the middle of a tornado and 3 seconds after getting into your car, nobody notices in the news shot that everyone's hair and clothes are clean and dry. And it was just like a little couple moments where I noticed post-production didn't catch it. And they were like, oh my God, wait a minute, we got to reshoot that. But who knows if they had the budget to do all of that? We don't.
Okay. I see that. You know what? I ain't pick up on that. That's because I ain't that cool. Okay. Shout out to you. Oh my God, that was too close. All right. Iris. Yeah, that's extreme. All right, Iris, you come in. Let's get your highs and lows.
Okay, so I really did enjoy the movie. I do agree with Misha, some of the tidbits for lows that they you know needed to work on. But I want to say my biggest low of the movie, to be honest with you, was Jami Gertz's character. I think her character's name was Melissa, the new fiance that Bill Paxton character was trying to marry. She annoyed the shit out of me.
What?
He did. I was like, somebody punched this bitch in the throat because her screaming is not helping the situation.
Yeah, I think it's the New York in us. We was like, bitch.
Like, shut the fuck up. Like, we're all scared, but do you see us carrying on like this? Relax. Your man is holding you. You'll be fine.
I feel like I think one of her purposes was to be the avatar for the common person. So this is like everybody else is so cool. You needed somebody to freak out to be like, yes, this is not normal. Like, this is not cool. This is not how things are supposed to happen. But I'm shutting up. Go ahead. Do you think?
It was annoying as hell. Annoying as hell. Like, oh God, I couldn't stand her character. And my highs. Like I mentioned before, like all of the action moments, like the natural disaster, seeing the twisters, I think they looked so good for 96. You know,
The
it
cows,
didn't
that
look
was
cheesy. It didn't look cheesy. Even the cow, that's like, that's like the signature thing of the movie. Like everyone remembers the cow, like going across.
And it was like, it's another cow. No, I think that was the same cow.
Exactly. So like even that, like I really enjoyed that. I have to say I think the acting was good. I know a lot of people aren't too crazy. Like I've heard a lot of people mention Bill Paxton's voice, like when he talks, he just sounds dumb. And I don't know. I loved Bill Paxton, Um I thought he was a good actor, so shout out to him. May he rest in peace. And I love Helen Hunt, you know, and I
Mm-hmm.
think their dynamic in the movie worked so well.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I
this
agree.
love-hate relationship that they're like, "Oh, I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of fighting." And Bill made it seem like, he needs someone to give him peace. And
Right.
it's like, "No, you don't. You like fighting. You like to have a reason to yell and fight and argue. But it's foreplay for you. Why are you playing?"
I think you're transposing yourself into that character.
Like little Miss Jami Gertz is not gonna do it for you, boo boo. You need someone who's gonna challenge your manhood, okay? So you have
exactly.
a
He's about to
reason
get bored.
to lay that baby leg down and be like, "No, woman."
What?
Yeah, that's the vibe. I'm telling you. He wanted someone he could just be like, "Oh, you get on my nerves, but I'ma tame that ass." Like that's the vibe I got between them. And he tried to play it off like, like I'm tired of being with someone that's difficult. No, you're not. Shut up. No, you're not.
I disagree. I would only disagree in that particular component because I think the things that really attracted him to that collective is the family atmosphere. The love for the work. They loved the work. You know what I'm saying? He loves those people. He loves that area, and that drew him in. I definitely don't think he enjoyed all the arguing and back and forth. I think that he understood, and I think that's what made this story so important, is that there's a moment where he realized he loves her because she's so passionate and because she's so giving and because she's willing to risk it all. But there is a frustration because she's so obsessed and that she can't stop herself. And he also recognizes that if I don't stay here, I love her. And if I allow her to continue on by herself, she's going to kill herself. She's going to literally kill herself. And if I'm not here to pull her back off the edge, I'm going to be going to a funeral and I'm going to feel, and I'm going to partially be responsible because I know she's out here about to kill herself. So
And
I got to stay here.
where I'm saying where he can lay down the baby leg and put her in the right place. Okay. I don't.
Okay. Yes,
He
ma'am.
had. I understand what you're saying. It's like a Captain Save a Hole kind of vibe
That-
to it.
that's, that's a little different. It's a little different, but go ahead.
But I'm telling you, like, don't get me wrong. Everyone gets tired of the arguing, but I feel like that's what made the passion in their relationship. Not only the work, not only the family vibe, not only the fact that they both like chasing after these storms, you know. Um, but I feel like the friction between them is what really is like you get on my nerves, but I want you.
Yeah, keep it spicy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right. I know what you guys are gonna do after this. So let me hurry up and get the highs and lows because we've got
Okay.
stuff to do. All right. So my highs and lows are like this. My high. There's quite a few highs. This because I'm gonna be completely honest with the public. This is one of my favorite films of all time. I've watched this movie at least 50 times. Like and it's one of those things where it's dangerous, but it's beautiful. It's a love story. It's an action film. It's a scientific film. It covers so many bases. Now I'm gonna say the reason why one of the main reasons why I love this film is the pacing. It starts out with a bang. I mean, the film opens up. It gives you, it explains why the main character is so obsessive. So you're getting meaning out of the gate and you're seeing something heartbreaking, you know what I'm saying, and scary. So you have this opening scene that's shaking you up to your core because you're not, once again, of that time period, you've never seen anything like this. So you're starting to film out 5 minutes, you're scared to death, you're seeing something you've never seen, and the film has established nature almost as an animal or a creature, and that's another thing I would love to say. There are usage of sound creation to make the storm. Like if you listen closely in certain scenes, the tornado has like a growl to it, like a wow, and it just this is like these really scary, weird, like, what I'm saying, like it's coming for you, and that it has this intentional thing. So it's so very scary, and it's really unnerving. So then you go from this really scary moment to like a bright sunny day, a husband, my man Bill riding with wifey, soon to be wifey, and they're out here to solve some problems. And I'm not gonna give away too much, but you see him come, the ensuing passionate arguing begins, and then we're off to the races. And this film is just nonstop. Even in the moments where there are lulls, you're getting important story information, you're getting important dialogue and back and forth, and it's always subtle nuances, and they don't over explain everything. Something that I love about explaining Bill Paxton's like supernatural powers, it's never over explained. It's never really explained at all. They just say that he's got a thing, and you get to see him do his thing, and it's just like, yo, it's not mystical, it's not this, but it's super cool. Excuse me. The rest of the highs are, just how they really, really solidly tell both storylines. So you have the chasing the tornado storyline and helping out the people and trying to solve this major problem, which is the main storyline, which they tell very well. But you also get to see a beautiful arc in this relationship story, and they both end at the same exact place perfectly. There's nothing I can beef about. Yes, there are definitely hair out of place moments where it was in the rain and then they dry to hell again, but you get to see very well fleshed out side characters. You get to experience something that you've never, like, once again, coming from 1996, I would have never have known that there were groups of people driving around the Midwest in crews chasing after. This is such a unique story. It's such a unique American story that has never been told before, and done so in such a very beautiful and simplistic way, but very strongly. And one of the things I will say in this part of the review, after seeing the second one, it heightened my respect for this film even more, because this is one of those films that's a prime example of you don't need a whole lot of shit to make a great goddamn film. You don't need to throw a whole bunch of stuff at the screen for it to be a great film. You don't have to do too much dialogue, and it ain't got to be cheesy and corny. It can be very simplistic. It can be very straightforward, and you let the actors be great actors. You let the graphic designers be great graphic designers, and you let people that know how to shoot the shit out of stuff shoot great content, and you put it all together for a great film. So anyway, at this point now, it is time for us to review this film. So let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Let me y'all had to give me a second. I got to get my sound effects together because we can't do this without sound effects. Is it a classic? Is it a good watch? Is it a catch on streaming? Is it not doing it for me? Or is it a or if you ever show me this ever again, I will you. And I want to start with my homegirl Iris. So wonderful to have you back. Missed you so much. So dear, what's your rating?
I'm gonna have to say this is a 90s classic for sure.
You know it, girl. You know it.
It's a 90s classic. You know, hands down, you know, it's one of those that, you know, you never forget the cow.
That's a fact. Like a dog, he smells the twister in the air. Y'all are crazy in the private chat. All right, Miss G, what is your rating?
You're actually gonna be surprised, but I'm going to go ahead and agree that it is a classic. I picked things apart to no extent. Honestly, the little continuity errors didn't have any real bearing on, like you said, how impactful this film was in the 90s. There are still people, you know, watching it every weekend up until right now. It's what made the excitement for the second film. Like you said, there was, you know, the graphics and the surround sound were a new thing. And was it 96?
Yes, ma'am.
It's definitely a 90s cult classic. Like I would just be a supreme hater if I gave it any other rating.
You know, you could be Mrs. Hater. It's no problem at all, man. The whole world needs haters. But I appreciate you for being honest about this and admitting that this is a dope ass film, because I'm going right there with you. It's a classic. So please, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done so, please make sure you go to the theater. If you get a rerun, if you go, I'm telling y'all, this is one of those movies where there's not a lot of movies that I would be like, yo, you should see it in theaters when you can catch it on streaming. But like Twister, the original, something you can watch in theaters, and it will be way more satisfying than just watching it on the television. And if you do have a big screen, watch it in there, bring it and I definitely agree with Ms. G. Like, there's something you can bring the family together in. It's definitely good for all ages. Young kids can watch it, older family members can watch it. Everybody can get together, have a great time watching this film, and actually have some really open discussions about a plethora of different human elements.